based on evidence. It's not going to be just a lawsuit. It's going to be the kind of lawsuit that is full of evidence, admissions, documents, which prove exactly what she did and how she bullied her way through the process to take over the movie and used her PR people to try and destroy Justin. There's a number of different defendants here. Stephanie Jones will be all over this complaint. That is the PR agent who was supposed to be working for Justin Baldoni. Leslie Sloan, who's another PR agent who will be part of this lawsuit. That was Blake Lively's. Blake Lively will be sued, and we're carefully considering other people that will be sued also. Ryan Reynolds, for sure. What Ryan Reynolds, has seemingly done, right, is used his power and influence to not only help Blake Lively take over this movie, but, he's used it, on Deadpool and to make fun of Justin Baldoni.
Sorry about that. Come here, girl. Who are you? Oh, I'm Deadpool. And I guess you're Deadpool too. But in here, everybody calls me Nice Pool. Oh my goodness, wait till you see Lady Pool. She is gorgeous. She just had a baby too, and can't even tell. I don't think you're supposed to say that. That's okay. I identify as a feminine.
Camera pans in on a giant swirling rumor storm. Deadpool 3, once the untouchable R-rated superhero juggernaut, may be in deeper hot water than we ever expected. One simple joke, aimed at Justin Baldoni of all people, has sparked whispers that the notoriously bold Ryan Reynolds is finally towing the line with Disney and Marvel. Could a single comedic jab threaten the future of Deadpool's beloved raunchy style? Buckle up, because the story behind this forbidden joke is anything but straightforward, and the consequences might reshape Deadpool's fate forever. Deadpool isn't your average cape-wearing Boy Scout. He's the wisecracking wildcard who roasts bad guys, allies, and even himself before breaking the fourth wall to roast the audience too. From the moment he first appeared on screen, fans worldwide fell head over heels for the merc-with-a-mouth. No target was off-limits, no punchline too spicy. But in the wake of Disney's acquisition of Fox, and by extension all mutants great and small, some wondered how Disney's famously squeaky-clean brand would coexist with Deadpool's R-rated shenanigans.
And I guess you've already met Mary Poppins, aka Dogpool. Careful where you put your hand. She's 90% G-spot, and she'll let you know it. You let this little flirt out of your sight for 1 second, and she starts shopping for a new papa. If you can't be a responsible pet owner, then maybe you don't deserve this little unicorn. Guilty on all charges, Your Honor. It shan't happen again.
For a while, it seemed like the House of Mouse was perfectly fine letting Deadpool be Deadpool. Rumors flew that Ryan Reynolds had free rein to keep the character's style intact. Yet here we stand, confronted by an incident that suggests Reynolds might have ventured too far. The comedic freedom we've taken for granted could be hitting a corporate firewall, all thanks to a shot he fired at none other than Justin Baldoni. Who would have guessed the star-turned-director of It Ends With Us could stir up so much trouble? But what exactly is the big deal? Deadpool has dissed everyone from Wolverine to Baby Hitler in comedic sketches, so why is Disney suddenly gripping the censor button? As it turns out, the reason lies deeper than a single joke, and it's tied to high-stakes business decisions that extend far beyond Deadpool's cinematic universe. Word on the grapevine is that Ryan Reynolds scripted a spicy jab at Justin Baldoni, linking Baldoni's recent controversies and ongoing creative feuds into the Deadpool narrative.
That is that if your wife is sexually harassed, you don't make fun of Justin Baldoni. You don't make fun of the situation. You take it very seriously. You file HR complaints. You raise the issue, and you follow a legal process. What you don't do is mock the person and turn it into a joke.
Some say the line made comedic gold out of the tension swirling around It Ends With Us, the film adaptation rumored to have a lot more turmoil behind the scenes than meets the eye. Comment reportedly poked fun at Baldoni's ongoing disputes and entanglements, particularly those involving Blake Lively. In typical Deadpool fashion, the joke was rumored to be more than a random aside. Multiple insiders claim it was carefully drafted, possibly repeated in various script versions, signaling it wasn't just a one-off improv line from Reynolds. If that's true, it means there was intentional comedic crossfire aimed at Baldoni, someone whose relationship with Disney is said to be warming up. It's easy to see why the House of Mouse might pull the reins on this one. They've got future plans for Baldoni, and a public mocking from one of the biggest superhero stars in their stable could sour that partnership. But the real kicker? This alleged comedic gem touched on the scorching feud between Baldoni and Blake Lively, one that's overshadowed It Ends With Us since the moment the internet got wind of it.
There's no question it relates to Justin. I mean, anybody that can watch that, the hair bun, the comment about the pregnancy. I mean, it's pretty obvious what's being done. But again, like if somebody is seriously sexually harassed, you don't make fun of it. It's a serious issue.
Disney's rumored involvement in the production or distribution of Baldoni's future projects raised the stakes even more. Suddenly, Deadpool's snark became more than humor. It felt like a brand risk. And that spelled trouble for Ryan Reynolds. So how does Blake Lively figure into this whirlwind? Well, the rumors swirling say it started out as a promising partnership. Lively initially voiced enthusiasm for It Ends With Us, but the tide allegedly turned when fans and critics raised eyebrows at the casting decisions and script direction. Internet chatter claimed she tried to influence certain creative aspects. Baldoni, as the director and producer, pushed back. That's when the friction started to get ugly. Depending on who you ask, Lively either felt railroaded by an unyielding production team, or Baldoni felt blindsided by sudden demands that seemed to come from nowhere once the project faced backlash. As speculation and rumored behind-closed-doors spats piled up, lines were drawn. Lively and Baldoni ended up on opposite sides of a swirling PR storm, culminating in legal murmurs and a damaged relationship. Now imagine being in Disney's shoes. Baldoni could be the next big name for the brand, a potential partner for future family-friendly but edgy cinematic hits. Meanwhile, Blake Lively is, of course, Ryan Reynolds' real-life spouse and a massive star in her own right. One comedic dig might not have caused a tremor, but the specifics of that joke, referencing tense real-life drama and rumored legal battles, likely poured gasoline on a spark that was already dangerously close to combusting. No wonder Disney wasn't laughing. When the suits at Disney heard about the joke, they reportedly flipped into damage control mode. Some insiders suggest they placed a quick call to Marvel, effectively demanding the line's removal. Baldoni and Lively are big names. Disney has a vested interest in keeping them happy, or at least not slandered in a tentpole superhero movie. After all, humiliating a potential collaborator in a high-profile film could make for some awkward negotiating sessions down the road. But the rumor mill doesn't stop there. Whispers point to Marvel being concerned about the entire spirit of Deadpool's comedic style. It's not that Kevin Feige and company don't appreciate the wisecracking merc. However, if jokes start targeting real-life drama or tear at the brand alliances Disney is forging, the risk becomes corporate blowback instead of fan applause. Fans worried from day one that merging Deadpool with Disney might muzzle that razor-sharp wit. So far, the official stance has been, "We know what makes Deadpool great, and we're not changing it." Yet the mere existence of this alleged crackdown suggests a different reality. Reynolds can joke about just about anything, as long as it doesn't sabotage the House of Mouse's strategic deals. That's a narrow tightrope to walk, and Ryan Reynolds, of all people, would be the first to notice. For longtime fans, the Deadpool franchise is built on fearless humor. Deadpool doesn't only break the fourth wall, he obliterates it. He thrives on shock value, unpredictability, and unfiltered commentary. If you start siphoning out the offensive or too real content, you risk watering down his essence. The entire fan base is on red alert, suspicious that Deadpool 3 might mark the beginning of a sanitized era. Could a single rumored jab really threaten everything? Possibly. Because if Disney exercises veto power once, it sets a precedent. But next time, maybe it's not just one line, maybe it's an entire sequence or a cameo that gets the axe for being off-brand. Before you know it, the comedic boundaries shrink and Deadpool morphs into a safe cookie-cutter hero. It's a slippery slope, and everyone from the casual viewer to the hardcore superfan is voicing concerns. Speculation also extends to box office performance. Deadpool's R-rated flair is precisely what made the first two films top the charts, defying conventional wisdom about superhero flicks. Fans sniff out that the third installment is toned down or missing the signature edges, it could spark a backlash that hits ticket sales. Disney is well aware that messing with a golden goose can come with a heavy cost. Social media lit up the moment rumors spread that Disney had axed a Ryan Reynolds joke for referencing Justin Baldoni's fiasco. On Twitter, fans declared that this might be the beginning of the end for the foul-mouthed anti-hero. Memes of Deadpool with duct tape over his mouth flooded Instagram. Heated debates popped up on Reddit where some cynics said, "We warned you this would happen when Disney took over," till not everyone agrees. Plenty of fans think the drama is overblown, speculating that if Disney gave Deadpool 3 the green light at all, they're not about to cripple its brand identity. They argue that removing one controversial line doesn't equate to a franchise-wide censorship. After all, comedic boundaries can shift from script to screen for countless reasons. But beneath these public opinions lies a deeper question. If Disney and Marvel can't handle a single comedic dig at real-life events, does that mean future Deadpool installments could shy away from topical humor entirely? One of the big draws for audiences is how Deadpool seamlessly weaves pop culture references and celebrity scuttlebutt into his comedic monologues. Clip those wings and you risk losing a core part of what makes him special. This controversy doesn't just affect Deadpool. It could affect Ryan Reynolds as a creative force in Hollywood. Right now, the rumor mill claims that Reynolds might have been reminded in no uncertain terms that lines referencing ongoing legal disputes or potential business ventures are off-limits. While it's unlikely we'll see Reynolds lose his gig, he is the face of Deadpool. The tension could increase if more conflicts arise. Think about it from Reynolds' perspective. Part of his brand success comes from unscripted quips and comedic spontaneity. If he must send every joke through a corporate filter, it might compromise not only Deadpool's authenticity but also his own comedic identity. Could Reynolds push back, risking friction with Marvel's biggest boss or even with Disney's executives? These are big, looming questions. Hollywood is, at the end of the day, a business, one that thrives on deals, partnerships, and carefully curated relationships. Reynolds is perceived as biting the hand that feeds him by mocking an emerging partner like Baldoni. It might force him to self-censor more often. For fans, that's a DMN shame, because watching Deadpool unleash unfiltered chaos is half the fun. If there's one thing that's clear, it's that this controversy won't simply blow over after a quick script tweak. The real story here is about a beloved star who's always enjoyed comedic freedom, now meeting the full force of Disney's brand-conscious empire. While Deadpool 3 will almost certainly still push boundaries, how far those boundaries extend remains a question mark. The Justin Baldoni-Blake Lively feud could resurface at any moment, especially if it ends with us sparks new controversies or legal showdowns. That means the joke Deadpool tried to make might only be the tip of a much bigger iceberg. Disney can't afford to alienate huge stars like Lively or budding partnerships like Baldoni's, but they also know how valuable the Deadpool brand is to fans and the box office. So, will we see a day when Deadpool's comedic blade is dulled beyond recognition? Or is this just a blip? An isolated instance where Disney had to protect its investment and will otherwise leave Deadpool's savage persona intact? For now, we can only watch, wait, and keep an ear to the ground for the next tidbit of Hollywood gossip that might tilt the scales one way or another. So where does that leave us? We've got Ryan Reynolds, the comedic rebel hero, famed for pushing boundaries, possibly staring down a corporate giant that's not amused by jokes at the expense of its future partners. We've got Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, locked in a war of rumors and possible legal snags. And we've got Disney, perched at the top of it all, trying to strike a balance between profitable star power and safe, family-friendly brand image. Is Disney overreacting by clamping down on a single comedic jab, or is it a savvy move to keep the peace? Will Deadpool's future films maintain the signature unhinged humor, or is the slow creep of censorship about to drain the comedic lifeblood that made the franchise iconic? We don't have definitive answers yet, but one thing's for sure, this story is far from over. Let me know in the comments if you think Disney's crossing the line or if Ryan Reynolds might have gone too far this time. If you enjoyed sipping on this piping hot tea, smash that like button and subscribe for more unfiltered takes. Because let's face it, in Hollywood, there's always another scandal right around the corner. Stay curious, stay cautious, and stay ready for the next round of behind-the-scenes drama. Because with Deadpool involved, you can guarantee it's going to be a wild ride.